the 10th of April, going. All right, roll call first. Steve Ball. Here. Phoebe Benziger.
Here.
Chad Huffman.
Here.
Delphine Jadot.
Here.
Richard Rogers. Here. Ronald Cairns.
Here.
And I'm David Fishering, and I'm here. Approval of the minutes from the 13th. I have a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ron. Anybody have any issues with the minutes? No? Okay, cool. Then all those in favor of approving? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Cool, minutes are approved. All right, additions or deletions, staff?
There are none.
Okay, in that case, we've got two agenda items, the blowers addition, the initial zoning, and the North Ridge sketch plan. Have at it.
All right, so we will start with the Blowers addition. The Planning Commission has actually already held a hearing on the initial zoning of the Blowers addition last year. During the process, the applicants wanted to amend the application in order to remove one of the parcels that was previously under consideration. Unfortunately, the annexation process is determined by the state rather than by the city. So once an annexation is started, there's no way to amend an application. It has to be, you have to stop and restart it. So tonight serves as the initial zoning hearing for this new application, and we do plan to bring this before City Council on May 7th and May 21st. The new annexation application is approximately 12.94 acres, and it is within the city's urban growth boundary, water and sewer service areas, and the boundary of the two properties proposed to be annexed does meet the 1/6 contiguity requirement. The requested zoning is the same as the last time we met. RL Rural Living District is intended to provide for farms, ranches, and cluster development with open space and is designed to dovetail with allowed county residential densities. The surrounding area is zoned RL, R6 Medium Density / Manufactured Housing District, and I1 Light Industrial District. We talked about this last time as well, but RL is the only zoning district that does not have a prescribed minimum lot size. And whenever an annexation or rezone to RL is requested, the Planning Commission must make a recommendation of a minimum lot size. Last time, the recommendation was made for 1 acre minimum lot size, and the same thing is being requested tonight. Here's the annexation plat showing the two properties that would be annexed if approved, as well as a sliver of right-of-way. According to the future land use map, this is primarily shown as residential mixed density low, which primarily indicates that the area is appropriate for single-family homes and some small amounts of attached residential development such as duplexes or townhomes. The property is within Growth Area 1, which represents the most cost-efficient areas for the city to grow. And in summary, the application is in order and meets city and state annexation requirements. We have an updated annexation agreement and impact report. Staff finds that the proposal is consistent with the public health, safety, and welfare and the comprehensive plan. The last time this came before the Planning Commission, the proposal for RL with a minimum lot size of 1 acre was approved, and we do recommend the same thing be approved tonight. And that concludes my presentation. If you have any questions for staff, we are happy to answer them. The applicant is also here tonight if you have questions for him.
You guys have any questions for staff before we bring the applicant up? Ron? No? You guys down there? No? Okay. Excuse me, if the applicant's here, you'd come forward. And just state your name and address for us.
Don Blowers, 2440 6450 Road, Montrose.
Hi, Don. Is there anything you want to add in addition to what the staff presented?
No, I think we went through it all last time. We just needed to take that lot one off of there, which we did, but we just had to go through the whole process again. I don't think nothing changed outside of that.
All right, you guys have any questions? The applicant? No? You guys, no? Okay.
Just wanted to see you again, Don.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks, Don. Well, you can have a seat. Thank you.
Thank you.
So staff, just to clarify that with a minimum lot size of 1 acre, I think was it 12 something total on the whole parcel, right? So that means that they could subdivide it into theoretically 12 lots without coming back before the city?
Correct. If that was the minimum lot size that you recommended.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the formal, that would be a major subdivision, so it would.
Because it's more than 3, right? Okay,
Right.
got it.
So if that were to happen, it
It require, yeah, okay. Perfect. Thank you. All right, in that case, we'll open it up for public comment. Is there anybody here for this agenda item that wants to speak or ask a question or anything else? No? Okay, cool. Then we will close the public comment portion of that agenda item. And if there's any discussion necessary, guys? No? Seems pretty straightforward, so, which is nice. It's been a minute since we have a straightforward zoning one. All right. I will entertain a motion.
Okay, I'll be glad to make a motion. I hereby make a motion to recommend to City Council approval of the initial zoning request of RL, which is Rural Living District with a minimum lot size of 1 acre. The request meets the code criteria based on the evidence and testimony presented at this hearing and in the staff report.
All right, thanks,
And I
Phoebe.
second.
Do you have a second? Delphine, did you second?
Yep.
Okay, thanks, Delphine. Any discussion on the motion, guys, needed? Any clarifications, questions? No? Okay. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? All right, motion passes unanimously.
All right, so the second item is a sketch plan application for the proposed Northridge Townhomes, which is located on a small property along Cirque Way. This is a relatively small property that's already zoned for multifamily development, and the proposed townhomes are used by right. The only reason this requires a hearing before the Planning Commission is because the applicant would like the townhomes to be individually conveyable. The property is approximately 0.63 acres in size and is zoned R3A medium-high density district. This allows for a maximum of 9 units, and the plans being presented tonight are for 8 units. Because these would be individually conveyable, this does need to be presented tonight as a sketch plan. This will not be approved or denied tonight, but we recommend the Planning Commission provide feedback to the applicant. The proposal will need to go forward in the future as a preliminary plat, which will be voted on by the Planning Commission and City Council. This property is shown as residential mixed-density medium in the future land use map, which suggests the property is appropriate for single-family, duplexes, multifamily, or townhome development. The R3A zoning is intended to provide an area suitable for single-family homes, duplexes, and multifamily residences with an intermediate overall density. This zoning, again, allows the developer to build nine units as a use by right. That would not require a planning commission hearing. The reason this is before you is because of the proposal to make them individually conveyable. This is the sketch plan itself. This is a one-page document. As you can see, the proposal is for 2 separate buildings, each with 4 townhome units and associated general and limited common elements. I know this can be difficult to see on the screen here, but this is also available in tonight's packet. As a reminder, you're not voting on this item tonight. You are solely providing feedback and recommendations to the applicant, which are not binding. We recommend you provide guidance as he moves forward with the development. Again, we do have the applicant here if you have any questions for him, and of course, feel free to ask any questions of staff.
All right, thanks, William. You guys got questions for staff? No? All right, if the applicant would like to come up. Just state your name and address for us, please.
Ken Williamson, 13 Aspen Street, Montrose.
Hi, Ken, you want to add anything about your project?
No, just want to get it built.
All right, you guys got any questions for Ken?
I do. Ken, can you tell us about the parking, the number of spaces that are included in the drawing?
I believe there is 6 spaces per parcel, so it's being subdivided into two halves to be able to allow the 2 different structures, and each side has 6 spots.
And stick around with us, but William, can you help me, or Jace? 1.5 spaces required per unit, is that right?
Correct, yes, for multifamily, which townhomes are, according to the code, the same as multifamily, is 1.5 spaces per unit.
Okay. Any way to get any additional parking?
Yeah, I think William, somebody suggested getting rid of that little, the cul-de-sac spot, and that would be able to increase some parking spaces there.
So that would be my only feedback for you, is additional off-street
more
parking.
parking?
Yeah, off-street parking specifically, so that
Okay.
it's not impacting the overall neighborhood and 1.5 is adequate many, many times, but not.
Yeah, it passed the 1.5, but if
Yeah.
I can get some more, because they did suggest getting rid of that cul-de-sac, and if I
Absolutely.
can get some more spots,
So,
I'll do it.
yeah, I agree. You're meeting the minimum requirement, and William is happy, and Jason is happy, so, but whatever you can accomplish is always appreciated.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
So William, what was the reason for that little cul-de-sac? I mean, if it's easily disposable, why was it there in the first place?
So,
I don't have the history on that.
Or not your,
From-
yeah, pardon me, I'm sorry?
You're talking about the Cirquay
Yeah.
cul-de-sac?
Is that just part of the road?
It is part of the
Okay,
road, yeah,
I'm
that
not
is.
familiar with that part.
That is right of way. I'm not familiar with the background. Scott might be familiar with it. It's been there quite a while.
Okay,
They developed the neighborhood to the east first, and so it was kind of a terminal dead end, and then when Stonebridge and all that developed, they connected them, so I think there's two actually along the way there. So they're obsolete, it's intended to be a thoroughfare. When those kind of things come up, it's not cheap to move those out, so it'll be pretty expensive parking spaces. That's how we do that. So, you know, we throw it out there that they wanted to, and it's worth it for them on the site, we would certainly support that. What we would do is vacate the right of way, but you still retain the utilities, because all the utilities are built around that bulb there. And so either is workable, it can stay kind of as a bulb too, it's just kind of weird, but functional. So either one is workable by us, we typically just work with the applicants on whichever they desire, we work with them to make it work either way.
Ken, is the plan right now, because one thing about, these sketch plans is always hard to tell, the space in between the two sets of townhomes, is that going to be green space? Is it going to be?
Not technically green space, more xeriscaped.
Okay,
And there's kind of like a retention pond. So rainwater from both units is going to go into a retention pond and then down the storm sewer.
okay. You guys got any other questions for Ken?
No, I got
Ron?
one for Scott.
Go ahead, bud.
Does that mean that if he changes the cul-de-sac parking, he pays for that? The applicant will pay for that? then?
Yeah, generally, there's no driver for the city to do that at this point, where
Right.
it's functional. If we had, excess money in the streets department, which we'll never have, they would, but for the most part, it's just kind of
Okay.
an unfortunate artifact of how that area developed, and it can stay that way. Maybe if they ever do a rebuild of that road, the city might.
Yeah. Okay.
But to just go out and do it for a parking space, wouldn't be cost, or would, the city would, it'd be hard for the city to justify that.
Yeah.
Might be hard for me to justify it too, but I'll see what it's going to cost.
Dollars and cents.
You guys got anything else? Chad? No? Going once, going twice? All right, Ken, you can have a seat, bud. Thank you. All right, we will open up the public comment portion for this agenda item. If there's anybody that wants to come on up, state your name and address for us, please.
Mary Gannett, and I'm at 2615 Cirquay, which would be right across the street from where the buildings are going up. So I had more questions and comments.
Mary, just real
what-
quick, real quick, make sure you talk to us, and then we will redirect your comments
Okay.
and stuff. I know it's weird since you're the only person here, but it's just the formality of it.
My question was for William, and if he could define what individually conveyable means to me?
We can answer your questions
Yep.
once you're
Mary,
finished
just-
asking them.
You got like 3 minutes to
Oh,
spout everything out, and we'll.
Okay, another question is, if you know if the units will be for renters or owners? I was wondering if the units will be similar to the ones that are being built down the street? And I was confused looking at the drawing of where the parking would be. Do people enter the unit from Cirquay, or do they come in from behind? So mostly I just have questions.
You got some more time, you got more questions.
Well,
You're the only one here, so.
you really draw a big crowd. So one of the comments that I have are the units that are being built down the street originally had a fence in front of them. That's gone now, and they're completing the units. And the latrine or the outhouse is right on the street. So my request would be to have that, instead of looking at that outside my window every day, if there's a way that that can be pushed back to the back of the property. So those are some of my questions and comments. So can those questions be answered?
We will get you some answers, or try to,
Okay.
okay? Thanks, Mary.
Today or?
Right now.
Okay.
Usually I give a big spiel, but since you were the only one here, I figured we didn't need the whole spiel, so. All right, if there's nobody else that wants to comment from the public, we will close the public comment portion of that agenda item. All right, William, would you define individually conveyable?
Yes, so that means, individually conveyable means that a property can theoretically be sold. So when you have townhome units like that, the land underneath the townhome and the townhome itself, that can be sold. The person purchasing it would have their own individual deed. It doesn't necessarily have to be sold, to move into your question about for sale or for rent. It can be for sale if this does move forward, or it could be rented. It depends on, we don't control that. It's the owner that decides that. But as far as the access, that's not necessarily determined by the plat itself. We could ask the applicant to answer that, but anything?
Thanks, William. All right, so yeah, Mary, basically the fact that, the reason it's coming before us is because each individual unit there, so each one of those 8 units could be sold individually. Otherwise, it wouldn't be even coming before us, because the applicant could do this on their own. All right, Ken, you want to come up and try and give a few of these answers, or if you want to.
I could just kind of show her off of her schedule.
Yeah, that's fine. And to be fair, you don't have to do any of that, but at this stage,
So this
you can do
is
what
the
you
parking
want.
lots right here.
Okay, they're in
And
the
that-
front.
Yeah, and this is gonna be kind of just like zero-scaped.
Okay.
Just rock right there, and then, the parking lot goes in right there, so there'll be parking.
Got it.
Parking.
And these are different from the ones that are down the street?
Yeah, I don't know which ones you're talking
The
about.
white ones on the corner?
Oh, yeah, so.
These are a totally different unit?
Yeah, these are completely different. You're talking
Okay.
about right on the corner
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think those are like duplexes.
And they're single-story?
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
and they have garages attached to
Yeah.
them. These aren't gonna have garages
Okay.
on them. They're 2 stories. They're gonna be pushed back, but the parking lot's right up
2
front.
stories or one?
2 stories.
Okay. Are they similar to the ones that are already there that have,
They're gonna look a lot nicer.
okay. And should this pass, do you anticipate when construction will begin?
Next year, hopefully.
Oh, next year?
Next year.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Ken. Phoebe just had a question real quick, William, that because it's going through this process, then some other things kick in, like the open space requirement, correct? It looks like there's way more open space than is required here, but can you confirm that for us?
So this is not a PD,
Okay.
so it does not require that 20% open space. Now, that being said, as Ken indicated, this would be zero-scaped, which could count towards open space if that was required, but this does not require a plan development, so the
Okay.
20% open space doesn't apply here.
Okay, perfect. You guys got any other questions? Yeah,
I'm curious, and maybe, Ken, you answered Mary, about how you're going to get into these buildings? Is it off Cirque-Way, or just, what did you answer?
Yeah, so the entrance to the parking lot is right off of Cirque Way, so kind of where the road bubbles in right there, that cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
That's gonna be one inlet, so one parking lot's right there, and then the next parking lot's right over there.
Okay, yeah, but no, I can see the other there, over there, here, there, and over where.
It's hard to.
So the parking lot's right there and right there, so that'd be an inlet, and that'll be a little driveway and a driveway, and then that's all zero-scaped.
Okay. And where are you gonna,
It'll be pretty much zero-scaped around the whole thing, and there'll be like a little patio back here for everyone that's, living there.
And is that the fronts of the buildings that are facing each other then? Or-
Yeah, so there'll be balconies
Okay.
on both units, and they'll be facing each other.
now, did you guys talk about the outhouse situation, or did you? I mean, I know that's probably
When I
not yours
start
that's
building, I'll put them
there.
on the backside.
Yeah, just keep it away from Mary's house, please. Yeah,
I-
yeah.
It is always funny where
But I have
construction
no
guys
control
put,
over that.
where they put the outhouse doesn't always make sense.
Yeah, and if
In my
he
experience.
doesn't, Mary, you come back and let us know. We'll give him a call.
I have faith in you.
I'll keep them away from you.
That's great.
All right, you guys got any other discussion items? Go-
I do.
Chad, go for it.
William, can you confirm, a parking lot doesn't have a minimum setback requirement, so it could go right up to the property line. Is that accurate?
Yeah, the setback requirements are applicable to the structure itself. A parking space does not have a setback requirement.
So theoretically, again, in an effort to create more parking, between the two parking spaces, that's what is drawn there, theoretically, parking could stretch up to the boundary line for each of those two different parking lots.
Yeah.
So, again, we're just giving feedback, I'm just giving feedback, but whatever, again, you can accomplish, I'm not trying to get you
Yeah,
to
I don't
wipe
want-
out, I'm not trying to get you to wipe out the cul-de-sac, but whatever you can do to increase parking is my feedback for you.
I don't want fender bender situation, so
Yeah.
we'll make sure there's plenty of parking.
Chad wants to be able to park his truck there. So that's the main thing.
They love to joke that I'm always asking about parking, which is kind of true.
I mean, it's fair. Everybody in Montrose has big trucks, and none of the parking spaces in this town are big enough, so it's a valid concern.
That's all I got.
Yep. You guys got anything else down there? Ron? No? Guys down there? Richard? Good? Delphine? Good? Okay. In that case, we're not voting on anything for this agenda item. Ken, good luck with the rest of the design, and we'll see you back, I guess, for what, preliminary plat? Right? Okay. Sounds good. All right, in that case, what do we got? Other business?
I guess it kind of moves into the next item, but we will be having an open house for the land use code update at the next planning commission date. So that'll basically take the place of the planning commission meeting, so there will be no items voted on. It'll just be a public open house, which you all are invited to, city council is, as well as the public. And so kind of exciting there. We were gonna bring an update to you all a couple of weeks back, but we decided we'll just do it at the open house, and we can always do a training session and or an update following that at a separate meeting if you all want that moving forward. Chris Dowsey and I have also talked about doing a legally defensible training moving forward as well at some point in the near future, so you'll likely see that, but nothing scheduled yet.
I would just say that if we are going to look for either an alternate, and hopefully we can get city council to approve Ron to move on to the board, I would just wait till we do that. That way we're not doing it twice.
Absolutely.
So the open house, it's at our normal time, but it's not a planning commission meeting, so we're not running the open house, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. So it'll be in the Centennial Room
Okay.
at 5:30 on, what is it, Tuesday or Wednesday? Wednesday the 24th. So 7:30, you will not be running it. We've got a consultant team as well as a number of staff that'll be there. So
Okay, cool.
it'll be well attended on that front. And yeah, as far as as you all know, Jan Chastain resigned from Planning Commission, so I want to wish her the best moving forward. And then we will seek to fill the empty spots over the next probably 6 weeks or so. And we will keep you posted on that.
Cool.
So the revisions to the planning code, is it available to be read at this point? Is it online?
Not quite yet. So we're working through red lines now, but nothing is published yet. And that's why we want to get a bit of feedback from the open house. We'll show some red lines we're proposing. We'll show some of the concepts, a lot of which will actually be from, I believe, the February 5th city council work session that I had presented on. But we'll have more meat to the bones, per se, from that work session. So discussing accessory dwelling units, discussing different housing types, really all of those pieces that were hit on at that meeting. But, and then a few red lines, but we don't have that published yet. We do have a website for that, so when those are ready to publish, they will be published on that project website that we'll push out. That was within the flyer, actually, I believe, and within kind of the packet I've been sending out to the public, but more to come. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool, sounds good. All right, you guys got any other things that we need to go over? No? Cool. Ron, I assume that you are going to put your name in the hat okay, thank you.
I enjoy 8 months.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's good for us to, I mean, you've been here already. It would not be good to have you not be here, so, okay.
Even if they last 2
It's really the role of the position. It's nice to be able to learn one and
Yeah,
And
So-
it's happened a number of times, based on my knowledge, that alternate kind of moves into that regular position.
yeah, I mean, I don't know why city council wouldn't do that, but,
We'll know more, actually.
yeah. All right. In that case, if there's nothing else, guys, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Thank you. Second? Thanks, Ron. All right, in that case, all in favor? Meeting adjourned.
Have a good trip.
Thank you. It's gonna be fun.
I'm excited for you.